Hello friends, welcome to my channel, Devon Rex for Art, also known as Yolanda. I always forget to say that. So today I've got a lot of stuff to show. So I'm just gonna do like an overview of what we're gonna do today. So first we're gonna go through Happy Mail, and then I'm gonna show some journals. Today is a giveaway day, so I'm gonna show the giveaway stuff. And also I have a new stencil release with PM Artist Studio that is dropping today. So it's called, I can't remember what it's called, but I've already used it. And I'll show you the inspiration for that if I pulled it. Hi Dar, hi Linda, hi Terry. And then what else? We'll do a bit of jelly printing. I got some coloring to show, some finished pages, some works in progress, and some haul. Hi, Star Traveler. Hey, Zenjen. Okay, so let's start with the Happy Mail and what this, how this made me go to the art store. So this is some Happy Mail sent to me by Dee Dee Willingham, and it was a grayscale coloring page. I have to look up the book that it's from, so I'm gonna be writing some notes today. So Dee Dee grayscale. So she gave away some pages from a coloring book. So I was coloring it using alcohol markers, and you can see here where I ran out of one of the inks. So here I have my base, which I like using Copic for skin, unless it's like cartoony skin. So I used E00, E11, and E13, and I ran out of the E11. So I had to go to the art store to buy a refill, and E13 was getting close to being empty, so I bought one of those as well. So I have to refill a couple of those markers, and then I can finish her face and then do the hair. Here I did, this is just one coat, and this is the Ohuhu markers, and this is 2 coats. So I'll probably add some gold to that. And then the background, that's with an Ohuhu marker as well. So grayscale is really a fun, easy way to get into coloring. Now I did make her teeth, like they were white like this. I made them a little bit yellow, and then I used the colors blender to lift off a little bit of the yellow so that they're a combination of yellow and white. Because it looked weird having like too much white. Hi Dot, hi Linda, hi Anne. So Anne Lar is a person that I alternate streaming with. So I'm gonna be going on vacation. So I'm streaming this week, this Wednesday, and next Wednesday. And then Anne's gonna be doing the Wednesdays at this time slot for the rest of April. And then in May, I'll be back. Hi, Bobby. Thank you so much. All right, so let's do the rest of the Happy Mail, and then I'll show you the giveaway stuff. So Dee Dee also sent me this panda sticker. Unfortunately, I put the Post-it note on the top here, and it kind of ripped some of the ink off. So don't do that. So this is a sticker. So I'm going to put that in my Dee Dee sticker collection, and she sent me these little clovers that I won in a giveaway. Hi, Joanne. And then I think I super chatted her, I'm not sure. This is some more of her stickers. They're reproductions of her, I think, Inktober drawings, probably Inktober. So those are very fun. And then one of the giveaways I got had these cool stamps on it. So thank you, Dee Dee. And then I also won a giveaway for March. And this was the card that she made, one of the cards she made for the March stream for St. Patrick's Day. So like a Timmy person that she colorized. This frame she covered with gel printed black tissue paper, and then lots of little ephemera. So I'm not sure if that's gonna live on my shelf or go in one of my journals. So I'm not sure. So that is my Dee Dee Happy Mail. And then, oh, something fell. Let me just move that over here. Okay. And then Teresa Peterman, she always sends a nice, she sends cards to some people. She sent me a nice card, and she always sends a newsletter with it. So she leaves a card blank so you can reuse it, and I have reused it. And I appreciate your cards very much, Teresa. They're very beautiful. And then Happy Mail from Joanne Newman. So she sent me a bunch of, she said, "Do you want me to send you some chickens?" And I said, "Yes, but not too many." And she said, "Too much?" Question mark. So she sent, you might have seen these on Janet's and Dee Dee's stream. So she sent me some flying chickens, and my brother is a hobby pilot, so I'm gonna make him a card using one of these flying chickens. And then she also sent some UFO chickens. Super fun. Just doing a quick flip. And then some fun fish. And then some reading owls. And so I'm sure I'll be doing some giveaways with some of those as well. Not today though, because I have another giveaway planned. Hi Vanessa. Hi Diane. Okay. So that goes in the Happy Mail section. All right, so that's it for Happy Mail. Okay, let's talk about the giveaway next. So if you saw me, my last stream, I did a flip through of some journals, and I deconstructed my steampunk journal, and I started reconstructing it to like make it so I could finish it. So I did a complete flip through of this on Friday. I did a impromptu live stream. So I'm going to link that stream. So if you want a flip through of this, a detailed flip through of this journal, I'm just going to write myself a note. That will be in the description box later. And then I said that I would do a giveaway this stream. So we're going to do 3 giveaways to people in chat. I'll explain that in a second. So we're going to do 3 giveaways to people in chat. And then I also have a giveaway for Canada only that we're going to do to someone in chat, for someone in chat today. And then I did arrange to do a giveaway from comment picker from the Friday live stream. So I've got that, and the secret word was exploration. So right before the stream, I went through and I wrote down the people that commented. So we have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. We have 8 people that commented. So instead of doing like that special comment picker, I'm just going to go ahead right now and we're going to pick the winner of the because I feel bad that I usually do giveaways to people that are in the chat, but I know there's a lot of people that watch the replays that can't come to the chat. So I wanted to give a chance for those people to enter a giveaway. So it's too late now to put a comment in there because I've already released that. I could just double check that there's nothing new from before. Ooh, I have to go to different iPad. Just a second here. Okay. Just gonna double check. There was 25 comments when I checked it just before I came on. And let me just turn that off. Okay. And I have to go here. Sorry. I just want to double check to make sure I'm not omitting anybody. So comments, there's still 25. Okay, so this is valid. So let's just go ahead and do that. And then to the other giveaways, and this one too, I also put out I got some ephemera from the steampunk world, but I'll do a little flip through in a second. But let's do this comment giver first. And I'll also put one of these in the comment picked giveaway, depending on what's left over. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in something random. Let's see, I didn't really grab anything. Do I have like a box? Here, I have a box. I have this little box here. So I'm gonna just kind of move them around. And then I'm going to make sure they're all, here, let's fold them again, just to make sure they don't get stuck on each other. And then I'm gonna pick out the winner for the comment generated giveaway. Sherry says she never gets enough cute animals. Did I say hi to you, Terry? Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm closing my eyes, and I'm gonna just kind of do this. I'm not looking. Okay, and I'm gonna grab this one. All right, so the winner of the comment picking is Keeks. I don't think she's here, but I have her address. So Keeks, you're gonna get this giveaway here. I'll just go through it real quick. So I got some grungy jelly prints, printed papers, some ephemera. This is on copy paper that someone sent me. These are copy papers that someone sent me. This is from a scrapbook page. That's from a scrapbook page. It's actually a sticker. I included some of the rub-ons. This is a gel print, and then it's stenciled on top of it that I did, a gel print, and then a gel print from my deconstructed journal, like the actual pages. And then I'll add one of these, depending on who, on what's left. Okay, so Keeks, you're gonna get some happy mail from me. Thank you for watching my replay. So I wanted to do something special for my replay watchers. All right, so this is the stuff I decided to keep for myself when I went through my stuff that was in my steampunk journal stash. And then some of this scrapbook paper I'm just gonna keep and put back in my scrapbook stash area. Okay, so this ephemera is from this Pour Toast book, Steampunk World Ephemera Volume 2. And he's got lots of other books. Dee Dee shows flips of lots of them. So Pour Toast is a good guy. So what I decided to do is I decided to just cut the spine off. I was watching Dee Dee the other day, and it reminded me, like, she doesn't do this, but I thought instead of like ripping pages out, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my ruler on a cutting mat. I use my ruler, I'm right-handed, so I put it this way. And then I put my ruler there, metal ruler with the cork, cutting mat. I used my cutting blade, and I just went through very carefully, and then I cut the whole spine off. So now I have all these loose pages. And then what I did was, because they're two-sided, I chose the backgrounds that I liked, that I want to maybe keep, and I scanned in the backgrounds into my computer so that I can print them at any time. So I don't have to worry about cutting up the front of these because I know I have the back scanned. Hey View, I'm going to show some coloring stuff in a minute. View was on Chris Clue's channel yesterday or 2 days ago, and they had a really nice stream together. And then I'm also going to link View's video where she flipped through one of the coloring books I'm going to show you. I'm just writing that down. Okay. So a lot of this stuff, some of it's kind of cool, some of it's kind of cutesy. So what I did, So here's just a quick little flip of the type of stuff in here. This one, I didn't scan it because the background's by itself. So these are, this is that book. I like the eye. So it has lots of fun ephemera. So if you're interested in steampunk, I didn't scan that one, but maybe I should. Okay, so I pre-cut out some of these to include in the giveaways. So this is gonna just go in here like that. And then, so like Dee Dee shows, like you have these like snapped plastic folders, and then when you have loose bits, you can just throw them in there and it all stays together. Hi, Char. Hi, Kimberly. Let's see. And oh, and you're watching the launch from your front yard? That's exciting. I'm gonna watch the replay of it later, I think. Okay, so I've got, let's just go ahead and do these giveaways now to people in chat. So there's 6 of these to choose from. So this is the butterfly pack. Okay, so pay attention. This is the girl pack, because when you win, you have to tell me which one of these you want me to add to your giveaway. Okay, this is the guy with wrench pack. I tried to put like an animal, a person, and then an object in each of these. And then this is the eagle pack. Oh, this one's missing one. Okay, I have to add one to that. I don't know where it went. And then the owl. So this is the, let's put the owl on the front. Oh, I think that's where it went. There's the owl. So this shouldn't have 3 things. So this moon, yeah, this moon needs to go in this one. Okay. And then the robot pack. Okay, so those are the different packs to choose from. And then these are the 3 packages. So I'm not gonna let you choose these. I'll just randomly assign these, and they're very similar to the one I just showed, where there's like a mixture of gel prints, ephemera, rub-ons, gel prints. Maybe I'll flip through it after. Okay, so we're gonna do a random.org. Hey Keeks, you won the comment. You won the comment generated giveaway. All right, and then we also have one for Canadians only, but everybody can play for these 3. Okay, I'm just gonna go to, oh, I'm running out of breath because I'm talking so much here. Okay, I'm using my husband's iPad, but I don't know where he keeps things. Looking for the internet, there we go. Let's do random.org. Okay, and then I thought I put in, I have this little explanation. So it's going to be numbers 1 to 100. Hi, Jackie. 1 to 100, and don't erase your number. Don't erase and put a new number in. I'm going to press go, and then you put your numbers in, and then I'll press stop, and no numbers after the stop will count. The first 3 numbers closest without going over will win these, and then you can pick which ephemera you want, okay? So maybe while you guys are putting in your numbers, I'll flip through the packs. So numbers 1 to 100. Okay. So this one here, and then you'll get to choose which of these you want. So this one has like some thin paper, and some of these aren't just, like this gel print has sprays on it, so test it before you use it. They might have movable products, water-soluble products. Okay, and then some of these were from scrapbooking paper. Some were a Happy Mail sent to me, printed out on copy paper. And if you want to see how I used a lot of this type of stuff, you can check my Flip Through Friday from last Friday, which I will link in the description, or you can just check my feed. This is that Timmy tissue that I sprayed. And then some rub-ons. And then this is from the Excavated Steampunk Journal pages. What I did was I kept the papers that were thicker and I just put the thinner papers in here because they would mail better. Because mailing to, especially to the States now, they're very picky. Okay, and then this is the second one. So I tried to put them pretty evenly so that there'd be a good assortment. This is a printout I did from something from the, what's that called? Not Reader's Digest, National Geographic. Okay, and then these are tags, some rub-ons. They're Tim Holtz no, 7 Gypsies rub-ons. So each of these is pretty even, I think. And then this is the third one. So get your numbers in, 1 to 100. And then we're going to do, after this, we'll do a giveaway just for Canadians because I've got a thicker package to send. I can't send packages to the States anymore. It's just, if it's a package, you have to take a picture of every item in the package, and then their virtual assistant determines what the value is. So like an 8x8 piece of scrapbooking paper, they were estimating it was like $10. And I'm like, really? I don't think so. Okay. All right. So those are the packs. And then if you win, get ready to tell me which of these you want in here. And I'll just write the name on the envelope. Okay, so everybody get your number in. Get your number in, get your number in. So we still have snow. It's a sunny day, but there's snow. Okay, so I'm gonna say stop. All right, so here is the random.org. Okay, so the first 3 closest to without going over to number 20. I'm not sure. Oh, Sherry had 20 on the nose, so I'm sure she won. Anybody under 20? And Terry Brett had 18. And Adria, woman with the weenie, had 1. Adria, I think you'll need to send me your address. I don't feel like I have I have sent you any happy mail. Number 1, is that correct? And that was Sherry. Make sure I have the right Sherry. Sherry Habing. All right. So Sherry, you're the closest. So which one of these do you want? Thanks, Star. Okay, Sherry, do you want butterfly pack, girl pack, boy pack, robot pack, owl pack, or, oh, there's 2 robots. This one we called something else. Eagle. Eagle pack, owl pack, or robot. So, hi Jolu, you just missed the giveaway. I'm kind of doing them early to, so we can kind of move on. All right, so I need Sherry to pick which extra ephemera she wants. And then I need Terry Brett to pick. And then I need Adria to pick. Hi, Lisa O. And here is my email, Adria, to send me your address. Okay, and just make sure I don't have a typo. Good. So Sherry wants the butterfly. Okay, So that's going in your pack. Terry, which one do you want? Hi, Dorothea. So I kind of did the, we kind of did the giveaways quick. I will do another giveaway with comments at some point. And Terry wants the boy pack. That's this one. Okay, and Adria, which pack do you want? I have your new address, Terry, actually, so don't worry about it. I just mailed you something yesterday or the day before. So if you didn't watch my flip through from last Friday of my steampunk journal, why not? Go check it out. Shameless plug. Oh, oh, owl, please. Okay, there we go. Excellent. Okay, and then we'll do the Canada giveaway, and then out of the ones remaining, I'll pick one to go in the comment. Or Keeks is here, so she can pick which one she wants. Keek, why don't you pick which of these you want to go in your giveaway? All right, so this one's going to be Canada only because it's thicker. Woo! And I added some metallic things in here. So I folded this. This is Canada only giveaway coming up here. So this is what's in here. So we've got some metal pieces and gears. I think there's 3 gears. Some papers, some of that shiny duct tape. Girl, Keeks want that one. Okay, so put that in Keeks's. There we go. And Keeks just did, she just released a video of the jelly printing session, so check that out. Okay, and then this one's a bit thicker. This is some of that duct tape I had distressed in a rusty solution. Here's another piece of ephemera, like a metal charm. So this is all for Canadian giveaway because I can't send bulky things like this international. It's just too prohibitive. This is a little envelope. Some more scrapbook paper, some rub-ons, some more ephemera, a sticker, rub-on, and a gel print. Okay, so if you live in Canada, you can enter this giveaway. So this is Canada only, okay? Let's do between 1 and 50. I don't think we're gonna have that many entries. And they're gonna say between 1 to 50. And we're gonna say Canada only, okay? All right, so that's gonna go in this pack here because it's a little bit thicker. And who knows what else might end up in here, but whoever wins gets to choose one of these. And I'm gonna put that down here. Oh, I wanted to say, when I did a flip through of that steampunk journal, I said it was started in 2021, but actually the jelly printing of it was started in 2019. So actually I'm going to stick that in here too. Okay, make sure you're Canadian. If you're not Canadian, you can just take your number out. So far I recognize most of the people as Canadians. I didn't know Linda Star Travel Muse was Canadian. Okay, so I'll give you guys a few more minutes. While we're waiting for that, I'm just going to show you. So these were some of the other things that were cut out of that journal. Okay, some are a little bit thicker. This is a wooden die cut that I thought we could use on the gel plate today. I might save these to make postcards to give away. So we're not going to do that today, but I'm going to put those, these will make good ATCs, postcards. So I'm going to put some in the postcard, in my postcard pile to do another day. Actually, this one I'm going to throw in here as well. Sherry is Canadian. Sherry Habing, she is Canadian. So she's good, she's good. All right, so where did I put? Oh, I know where I put it. Okay, are Canadians all in? Okay, so I'm gonna press stop. So we have 5 Canadians playing. Good luck. All right, let's do between 1 and 50. So Star Traveler Muse, I know I have your address, I just didn't remember you were Canadian. I think I have your address. Okay, so we're gonna do, this one we're gonna do between 1 and 50. Okay, so it says 20, but that's from the old, that's from the previous giveaway. Okay, so this, we're gonna press a new number. Okay, so the winner is 42. So closest to without going over 42. Hi, Deb's Craft Room. So it looks like Diane Bell. We had a big clump there in the middle. So Diane Bell had 39. Hi, Kathy White. So Diane Bell, and I have your address, and I know you have a separate address for packages, so I'll make sure to use that address. And Diane, which of these packs do you want? The Eagle pack or the Robot pack? So I've got lots to show and do today, so I kind of wanted to just get the giveaway done. This is not part of the giveaway. We're going to use that probably on the gel plate. Very close. Yes, you guys were all close. All right, Diane, which one do you want? The Eagle pack or the Robot pack? You're welcome. Well, Jalou, if you win another giveaway, you can give me your new address then. Eagle pack. Okay. I thought you would. For some reason, I thought you'd want that Eagle pack. Okay, so that's going to Diane Bell. All right, congrats, winners. Excellent. I'm gonna just save these in a separate section. Okay, so I'm putting these in my postcard pile for future postcards. And then, so I'm going to show you, so what we're going to do today, a little bit later, is we're going to gel print. I might use some of these gel prints. And you know how I often make postcards to give away? Well, today, because we're doing the postcards, I think what I'm going to do is, I was watching the Half-Ass Crafter, and she had a little book that she does snark. Hey, Janet. She does snark in this little book. It's a bit smaller than this one. I think it's more the size of my washi tape book, but I thought instead of like making a postcard and giving it away, I want to keep some of these snark things. So I have this old book. It's called A Woman's Guide to Fixing the Car, and I got it at a thrift store. So I thought what I would do is I'll show you briefly how I'd alter a book. Now, I don't really fuss if it's glued pages or sewn pages, but this one's sewn. This one's sewn pages. So I'm going to, and what she would do is she already Half-Ass Crafter, she has gel prints cut down and glued on each page. So she'll have matching ones, like, so she would cut this and have one on each side and then do the same. So she'd have lots of pre-glued in gel prints. So we're going to start that a little bit later. I'm going to rip out some pages, glue some pages together, add some gel prints. We're going to make some gel prints, And I thought today we would do some snark using some of that steampunk ephemera. So I only managed to fussy cut 2 images. So we'll probably use that. But we're gonna do that a little bit later. Now, on the topic of steampunk and collage, thanks Dar, I'm gonna put in Half-Ass Crafter's link as well. Especially her little, it's a Tuesday, I think Tuesday 20-minute session or something. I found this Abandoned Places at my local Indigo for $10. So Dee Dee, if you know Dee Dee Willingham, she does a lot of reverse collage in Abandoned Places books by Kieran Connolly. I do mine in a different book because I didn't have any Kieran Connolly books. This one I think is a little bit smaller than her books, and it's more of a compilation book, I think, because I recognize pages from different books of his. So this is published in 2025. So it's more of a compilation book. So what Dee Dee does, so she did this one, she painted out the alley and she paints out space, and then she adds collage in here to make a scene. I remember this was like her Star Trek theme. So this is not a book she has, but some of the images are in books that she has. So even if there's 4 pictures, she'll kind of paint things out and kind of join them together. So I thought some of the steampunk ephemera would go really good in this book, like especially the stuff that's not so cutesy. I could even, actually don't even have to fussy cut it. I could tear it and then paint it in, which we're not going to do this today, but I'm just showing you. We're going to be talking about a lot of ideas today and doing a little bit of gel printing. Yes, View, I thought this was the one you had. So I could put, you know, for example, this could, you know, maybe this guy's coming in to pick up these things, but you paint stuff out. So check out, I'm going to link Dee Dee's Abandoned Places Reverse Collage playlist. I'm just writing all these things I want to link. So, so I'm not going to do a flip through of the whole book, but this is one of her, I remember she did this one, but I think hers are bigger. So this is maybe more like bite size. If I remember View, you did something with this one. But if you want more bite size, maybe not as big. So this would definitely fit in here. I could have this, I could paint this all out space and then add some other collage elements. Yeah, the order of the pages is trippy. The glossy pages don't cause issue. What Dee Dee does is she collages down with matte medium. So she uses the golden matte medium, which I don't have in front of me, but she used the golden matte medium on the page, on the back of her image, slap it on, and then matte medium on top. And then by the time she like matte mediums everything, it's fine. This looks like Star Wars to me. So they don't have to be serious. You can make some funny ones and just do it your own way, right? So I was really excited to see this. It is still a big book. This one is 8.5 by 11. So, I mean, it's not a bad size. My reverse collage book that I tend to use is this one called Unforgettable Ancient Sites. So this one is a little bit bigger. So this one's a little bit bigger. So if you don't know what reverse collage is, so this would be reverse collage. So these bridges were here. This Roman Colosseum was here, and then I added everything else. This was here too, this thing here. So you paint out some stuff and you keep some stuff. So this is I have a playlist of this as well. These are some collage soup images. That was an image transfer. It's from my stencil. So I'm not going to flip through that, but that's the idea. Don't waste your money on Mod Podge. Yes, it'll stick your pages together. depending on where you live, is my understanding, but I think it's, View used Mod Podge and all her pages stuck together and she had to like repair them all, right, View? Yes, View said that. A snack size book, yes. Okay, so we're getting through it. The other thing Dee Dee showed last week was her magazine journals. So some she had, you know, cut down. So this is an example of one that I cut in half. I cut the edge off, I cut in half and glued them together like she shows how. So I haven't worked in this one a bunch, but then you do similar, you stick stuff down and you paint it out and stuff. So I haven't really done a lot in that. This was my first magazine book, and I was explaining in chat, hi Carol, hi Barb Clark, that I used a local book. So this is like a local ad for a mall around here. And what was nice about the local book is it had a bit of everything. So I cut it so that it was like a 9-inch by probably 12-inch. So I cut it so that it was a square size. So I cut it here. And I have a flip through of this on my channel as well, but I'll just show you a few pages. So this was an ad, so I painted that, oh no, I added this piece in. It's hard to remember, you have to kind of feel it. This was a dog food ad, so I kept the dogs there and I just painted out, I hate that page. So it's a great way to practice like color matching. So I'm not gonna get too much into this. This was a park. So I painted out the fountains and I made the people, like I painted them out in whites, look like stormtroopers, and then I collaged on this planet. And so anyhow, so that is a fun way to practice color matching, practice reverse collage. If you don't want to start in a big coffee table book, you don't want to like, yeah, that was my first image transfer I ever did. So I'm going to link my flip through of my magazine book. I have two, so this one here, and then I also have a flip through of this one. This is more like a glue book. So what I did is Nicole Relax cut glue. I think I cut it down first, and then I folded the pages in and glued them. So like this, you can see the pages, especially if it's a fashion magazine, the pages aren't really very thick. So this, I folded all the pages and glued them. Okay, so this is how this one started. And then this was more of a glue book, meaning that I didn't use a lot of the original imagery. This was original to the magazine, and I just kind of added to it. So there's a flip through of this. I'm not gonna flip through it here, but I'll put a link to the flip through that if you're interested. Okay, I need water, but I don't have any water. All right, so now we're gonna get to the coloring book section of this video. So first I'm gonna show you my completed pages since the last stream. Hi, Kathleen. Welcome to everybody. And if you're watching the replay, welcome. And if you're not into coloring, just skip to the next section. We're going to be probably talking about coloring for about 10 minutes or so. So this is my Gugeli book, Find Color, and View enabled me to get this. Well, Dee Dee did, and View. Dee Dee's had these two books for years, and I've always been like, oh, they're so beautiful. They've got awesome paper, they're thick, they're Chinese, and they were very expensive to get in Canada. And then View found them on Amazon. And I thought, there's no way it's the same paper, but she ordered one and it was the same paper. So that's why I bought these. So I got this one first. I used gift money from my kids, from my boys, to buy it. So it's sort of special to me. So this page, I did a buddy color with Joanne Newman. And she had this book as well. And we both were scared to start it. So we said, let's buddy up and let's do something together. So we each did a page. This is on my Instagram, and I think I also have Joanne's picture on Instagram. So I used the Kuretake gold ink for the moon, granulating Kuretake watercolor for the background, and then I based it out with watercolor, and I went over it with colored pencils and gel pens. So I was really happy with that. So I can't wait to do another page in this awesome book. And it's even though it's from Amazon, I think it's still signed by the author, which is pretty cool. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. The paper is so yummy. And then Sharpie Creatives. Hi, Annette. Yes, I watched her for hours too. Okay, and then this one, so this is Color for Time. This is Fine Color. And this one, Coloring View, Jane Liderick Vintage Skies, and Joanne Newman and I decided to do a buddy color. So this is my finished page. I did the background. I think I showed the background last time I streamed. So I used a stencil template to do all the clouds in pan pastel. And then I based the dragon in watercolor. And I used this, I'll show you the ink for this. So this is an iridescent ink. And then this is that same Kuretake ink, the gold there. And then I used acrylic markers to make the ground, and then colored pencils and I think Tombos or fine liners or something to do the dragon. And what I did was when I was doing the pan pastels, I wasn't super careful. I let some of it kind of go onto the dragon, and I used that as part of the color inspiration. So the lady here, you can see she's sort of shimmering, and then there's some shimmer there. This is an ink from, let's see, it is called, it's a Tsuneko ink, and it's Frost White. And I actually bought that from Stampin' Up, and it's got like a ball in it, so you have to shake it. So that's a beautiful ink. And then I did like the DD style galaxy sky. So, and I taped off the edges. I put some of that gold ink here. So I've got this posted twice on my Instagram because the next day after I posted it, it was sitting in the sun and I could see the shimmer from this. And I'm like, oh, I have to repost that. So I did like a little reel. Okay, so that's that. Oh, and the dragon was for hashtag March of the Dragons by Zuvira Art. And then I also did another page. I showed you my Kirby page for the March of the Dragons last time. And then this is in Lulumeo, Le Monde Enchanté de Lulumeo. So this means a year of coloring. So it's broken down by seasons. And I did this page. And I kept it very simple, actually. So the background comets were done with the Ecoline watercolor markers. And then I decided to just do the figure and the UFO just in watercolor without using any colored pencils to make it a little bit faster. So actually I'll bring this up a little bit more. So that's just just watercolor, except, and then I did do the watercolor for these stars as well. And then this one, I did add a bit of white gel pen to make some of the reflection there. So I had a lot of fun doing that. It was pretty quick and easy. And I'm going to show you a trick in a second, but this is the Paul Rubin paints. It's a fluorescent opera set, and it has very, very bright colors. I'm sure they're not light fast, but in a coloring book, who cares, right? So that's the paints I used for the dragon and the moon and the UFO. So a lot brighter than the background Ecoline marker one. Can I show my Kirby page again? Sure. Let me just go over here. I think that was Worlds Within Worlds, right? So that's the dragon page in the Kirby book, and I just used Inktense background and like Inktense blocks activated with watercolor, and then I used colored pencils. Excuse me, I also used a bit of Tombow to make some of the areas darker once the colored pencils were totally burnished. and then some gel pens on the edges of the teeth and in the gold. So these I had painted purple, and then I went through with the gold and I just kind of overdrew on there. And then I might have gone back with the purple, I can't remember. So that was also for March of the Dragons. So I'm gonna show you a trick. If you have Procreate. So hi Hadassah. So I've mentioned this before. I have something called aphantasia, meaning that, spelled like this. Sort of the opposite of that Mickey Mouse Fantasia. I have aphantasia, meaning that I can't picture things in my brain. I don't think of it as I don't have imagination, but I can't like think in my brain, oh, I'm going to do this part blue and it's going to look like this. Like I can kind of put it together as a puzzle, but I don't see it. Like I can't, it's hard to explain. I can't really understand how people can see images in their brain because I don't. So I'm just going to go and show you something, a little trick. And I don't do this for all my coloring pages, but sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit stuck, I might do this. Okay, so I'm going to go over to, actually I'll show you my notes. So in Procreate, so for example, so here's how I started this page, okay? And then I took a picture of it and I imported it into my Procreate, which is a program on my iPad. And then I used the layers to kind of pretend how I might color it, okay? So that's the actual image that I had, okay? And then this is, I had colored it in Procreate, and I'm like, I'm not sure about the dark one. Actually, I think I'd done this the red first, and then I took that layer, and you can change the color in Procreate, and then I'm like, oh, I like that better. So this was sort of my prototypes. So out of those two prototypes, I decided I liked that. So then I just went ahead, and this is kind of how it got colored. This is the different stages. Just gonna zoom through quickly. Okay, so that was the different stages of it progressing, and then that was the, with the ink and stuff. Okay, now similarly, when I did this page, I had done all the meteors first, okay? And then I was like, I know I want to just use watercolor, but I don't know the color scheme, right? So I did two versions. I did this version here, where I had used green for the dragon and the little guy in the UFO. And then I did another version where I used the same colors. So this is sort of like complementary colors, and this is more analogous colors, okay? And then I kind of asked my husband, my kids, which one do you like better? Do you like this one or that one? And I think my husband liked this one, but my sons liked this one. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do it this way. So if you have trouble, and then that's the finished page. So if you have trouble deciding, like you don't wanna wreck your page, you're not sure what colors, you can take a picture of where you're at. You can put it in Procreate, and then you can like play with it, play with the color combinations. So I didn't use the color cube for that. Just reading the, yeah, so Procreate to help you with your color book pages. The sons always win, that's right. All right, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I just wanted to talk about that. So if you're hemming and hawing about what direction to take a color book page, you can always take a picture of it, or you can like make a photocopy of it and just use like super tips, just kind of rough in the colors and see what you like better before you put it on your actual page. Bye, Anne, take care. Did I screenshot all the work in Procreate? Okay, so the Procreate was just the two initial dragons. And then the rest were just, I took pictures of my coloring book page process as I actually physically did it. Hope that makes sense. I can clarify more if you like. Now, View was showing her Inkhouse book, and Dee Dee showed her Inkhouse book, and I don't have the proper Inkhouse book, but I have the Coloring Heaven version. And this is excuse me, it doesn't say which issue. I don't know if it's issue 81, but it's the Inkhouse Storybook Special. So these are all one-sided. Oops. These are all one-sided. And so this is what I have. So it's smaller, it's one-sided. So you can use alcohol markers if you don't have the actual Inkhouse book, but you like some of the images. This is an option for you. Some of the images are actually different. I do want to do this one. So I noticed that in View and Dee Dee's version, there's actually pictures in these frames, but in my version, there's no picture. So I thought I could collage on some washi tape to make the art. Like I would cut that down. These are all washi tape. Or I could use like some stickers I have. I could cut them down into the frame. This is from those, these little books you can get where they're not stickers, but they're like little pieces of art or whatever. So I grabbed out some and I thought, well, I'll use something in those frames, right? I'll glue them down so I could do that part. And then I'll use that as inspiration to do the rest of the page. So I just wanted to show that. It was just a thought I had. So if you don't have the Inkhouse, the hardcover, really nice book, you can get like an abridged version of it, I would say. So I do want to do the pug. Okay, so that's that thought. Today is a bunch of random thoughts. Okay, next is a bit of a haul. So I bought some coloring books at the books. Well, I bought these at the bookstore, and there's a story behind that. So I found this, and I was going to give it to my son's girlfriend as a gift. And I ordered myself one, but mine's not coming till April, and I'm going on vacation, and I want to bring this with me. So I think I'm going to, I just missed a bunch of comments. I think I'm going to bring this with me, and I ordered another one. The one I ordered, I'm going to maybe give it to her when I get back. Hi, Nancy. Hey, Cat and Paste, we're going through the coloring section. So this was really cute, and it's by Zenny Albanese. It's that cozy style, but it's much smaller, but it's very thick, and the pages are really nice quality. They're thicker than the usual cozy coloring, and I like the images. They were small, but the detail wasn't, okay, that one's a little bit detailed, but the detail wasn't super small, so you could get really some quick coloring done, and you could bring it, pop it in your purse with a few pencils, and you know, you could do that. So View, I sent a link to View, and she got it, and she did a flip through of it, and she's been coloring in it. So I'm also gonna link that book of that video where she showed this book. So I had bought myself this one because I have some cozy books that are more like animals. I thought it'd be nice to have like people. So I bought this one, but I think I'm going to give this one to my son's girlfriend. It's the Girl Moments by Coco Wyo, and the paper is it's pretty nice actually. So I'm either going to give her this one, and then I ordered another one. So I'm going to keep one of these, and I'm going to give her one of these. And then this is volume 2. This one's a bit bigger. The paper isn't as nice as the original one, I have to say. Like, this paper is better quality than this paper. And I like the size of this one. So I might keep this one for myself and be selfish, and I might give my son's girlfriend this one. Yeah, watch like that, cat and paste. Although I don't think you'll be tempted. All right, and then this I found, I had a Daria songbook, I don't remember the name of it, that I found at a thrift store, and I ended up giving it to, I think my sister-in-law, but then when I was at Indigo, I found this one for $7. And I know that Jane Lidderick has this book, and so does Coloring View. And I don't think I don't see myself coloring all of it like this. I probably wouldn't color that. But I do like this. I just think that's a really cool view, like straight down. I think this would be really fun to color. And the paper's very nice. Hi, Mary Brown. Hi, Carla. So you can find flip-throughs of this on YouTube. Okay, and then I've been keeping track of my coloring book collection. So Cat and Paste just talked about, she pared down her collection to 12. I keep adding to mine, but what I've started to do is, I've showed this before, is when I get a new book, I add it to my list. So far I have 59 books. And then I have seasonal books as well. So if I have a WIP in it, I put a tick in this column. If I have a completed page, I move it from the WIP to here. So my goal is to have no untouched books. So I went through and I pulled out all the books that still had like nothing done in them, and I put them aside, and I started some WIPs. So for example, this I hadn't colored. I had it for a while, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna start a WIP. So I just based this page out in alcohol markers, and that's the markers I used, the Ohuhu. So I'm gonna keep this in here, and I wrote when I started it, started March 30th, 26. And this could be done. I might say, it's done. View had a really great stream the other day where she was going through some WIPs, and she said, this is done. It doesn't have to be, everything doesn't have to be shaded. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe just doing this was enough for me. She would just sign it and date it and say that was done. So I think I might add, I don't think I'm gonna add lots of shading, but I might use some gel pens to add like some little designs. I might shade the plant a bit more and add some like gel pen to that. Maybe do a bit of shading. Maybe shade her eyes a bit more. Maybe her skin. I don't know. But it started, and it's a WIP, and I've decided I have to be okay with WIPs because I want to use all my books. So the other, this was a WIP. This is a book that Patsy Hart had sent me. And I had shown you this WIP. I used some glitter pens, and this I just did flat coloring, and I finished it. So I moved it from the WIP to the completed section. And I'm not doing a background. I'm not adding shading to all the dogs. Just doing this was fun. This was fun enough for me. Hi, Becky. Hi, Pinka. The shading is the funnest part. It can be, but sometimes you don't have to, Okay. Oh, this was the glitter pens that I used, these grabby retractable glitter pens. Okay, last WIP I'm going to show you is, so that's one move to completed, and then I started 2 WIPs. So this here I had bought at, I don't know where, the dollar store for $1.74. And it doesn't really tempt me. It's not really, it might become my style. I saw a video where the lady was talking about don't destash, because you don't know like how your style's going to change or what you might be interested in coloring in the future. So I'm not destashing. Not that there's anything wrong with destashing, that's fine too. I also watched Art Journey, and she has like multiple episodes of a destash, which was really interesting. But I have room for the books I have. I only have 60 books plus seasonal. I have the room, so I'm keeping what I have. And I might want to color this someday, right? So I thought, okay, I kind of went in order of my list. So this was the next one on the list. And I thought, I'm going to start this page here because this isn't as overwhelming. It's the cover page and it's smaller. And I had recently bought some Polychromos pencils, a set of 12 to try. So this is the set I bought, and I had an ivory already that I had bought individually. So I started this just with these pencils because it's a different process, or can be a different process with the Polychromos where you add layers. So this area here is kind of finished. And then these, I just kind of lightly went, and I'm just adding layers and layers, and I'm practicing with Polychromos here. So I thought, I think I like Polychromos. So I went to the art store and I bought a few more. Nope, not those. I bought these. I bought myself a purple because I felt like this was missing a purple. So I bought a purple. I bought a pink. And I bought an aqua because I love aqua, or it's turquoise. I love my blues. So these were about $2.50 at the art store, each individually. The tin I had ordered from Amazon. So now my Polychromos collection is growing. While I was at the art store, I bought 2 more Prismacolor whites because everybody says they're the best white and mine are getting low. And then the other day, I was watching Piggy Pens, and I'll link her video. Piggy Pens had tried Polychromos, and then she went and she bought a whole like 150 set. And I said, oh, that makes me want to try those. So she said, just get a few. So I got, these are the ones I got. So I got, I haven't tried them yet. A violet, cobalt blue. This is a signal red, orange, canary yellow, luminous rose, leaf green, and tan. So I just started with those. So these were $5 each, Canadian. I'm talking Canadian prices. So this was $40 worth of colored pencils. And if I really love them, maybe I'll buy a set. And what I did too is they had a set there, a set of 12 for like $60 or $55. And it had a black and a white. And I'm like, I don't know, like if you watch cat and paste videos, you don't necessarily need a black. And I thought, I think she shows how you can use complementary colors to make shadows and stuff. So I just bought these, and there was a set there of 12 that had black and white, and then it had, you know, kind of basic ones, but I tried to choose slightly different shades for my set, because if I love them, I could go back and buy that set of 12 and kind of gradually build it up. The only one that was a repeat was this red one, because it was the best red. I didn't see another red that I wanted as much. So I'm gonna try those in my next whip. My throat's getting sore. Okay, so I think that is... Hi, Karen. View says, right, I hold books for a while, and then sometimes I end up giving them away and replacing them. Yeah, so you think, oh, I'm not going to need this, and then you give it away, and then you're like, oh, I want that book back, and then you get it back. I kind of have like a sampling, like I have like one Hannah Carlson, I have one Maria Trolle, I have like 2 Camille Derico, and it was tempting to get some of her other ones, but I'm like, you know, I think 2's enough. One of them's a compilation book. One of them is the Cute and Creepy, which is the book I have the most pages done in. So I'm going to bring this one on vacation. So if you're coming in, I'm streaming this week and next Wednesday, and then I'm away for the rest of April, and I'll be back first week of May. Cat and Paste says black is one of my least used colored pencils. Yes, and I learned that from you. I'm gonna link Cat and Paste's channel. She has awesome tutorials. She's not currently doing any new videos for coloring, but her ones she has on there are amazing. Cut and Paste says she has the full Polychromos set and it survived her art supply cut. Awesome. Debs has 2 sets of colored pencils, Rose Art and Staedtler. Yeah, and you don't need fancy, but I have some, you know, dupes. I like my Halawa colored pencils a lot. And to me, I think they're kind of like a blend between Prisma Premier and Polychromos. So I thought maybe I would really like the Polychromos because my Prisma pencils, they tend to break. But I've decided I'm going to use them till they break, and then maybe I'll buy a fresh set and maybe they'll be better. So I'm going to take this on vacation. Usually I bring this one on vacation, and it's another Lulu Mayo. So I have 2 Lulu Mayo books, but one's a compilation book, so I don't plan on getting any. I'm really tempted by her, what's it called? The house, Lulu Mayo's house. I think I'm gonna do this page on vacation. And so this was done with highlighters and a colored pencil thing that was like one of those mechanical ones where you switch out the colors. So that was on vacation. That was the highlighters. And then I did this on another vacation, this one here. And that was with watercolor base. So I'm thinking I might bring my Paul Rubens watercolors, the ones I showed you guys, the bright ones. And then just a few colored pencils. And I'm gonna bring a sketchbook. And I'm gonna look for art supplies. Beth asked, where am I going? I am going to, on a cruise. We're starting in Amsterdam, so I'm hoping to do some art shopping in Amsterdam, maybe get some Polychromos on sale, or, you know, because that's a European pencil. And then we're cruising to Morocco. And that's going to be our last cruise for a while. Do you ever cut colored pencil picks out and use on ATCs or mixed media projects? Hi, Diane Olson. Yes, I actually showed in this steampunk journal that I used some coloring book pages here. So this was from a steampunk special, and I showed which book it was from on Friday's live stream. So I'll have the link for that Friday, Flip Through Friday live stream. So you can use coloring books pages in your mixed media. Dee Dee Willingham shows, she has a napkin journal that she uses, use coloring pages in. Sorry, I'm trying to talk too fast. Oh, you're going to cruise in June. Awesome. Thank you, Becky. So this is my new stencil. I can't remember what it's called. Something Tears. It's from PM Artist Studio. So I thought we'd use this and make some papers, and then do a snarky page in my new, this is gonna be my new snarky postcard book, inspired by Half-Assed Crafter. Hi, Laverne. Yeah, so we're gonna be in Amsterdam for 3 days, and then we're doing the cruise, and then we're coming home. Nancy from Handy Scandy says she's used coloring book pages in her card making. Hi, Joan. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna use that on the gel plate. So this was when I was playing with this, I did a long haul. So these are the prints that I got from it. This is on that medical exam paper. This is on the painter's masking paper. This is on the medical exam paper. So some of them I used twice. And then this was the final pull. Thanks, Lisa. So let's do a little bit of jelly plating, and then we'll play in making that new snark book. The other things I got at the art store, besides my refills to finish this page, I think it looks funny where she's like just kind of half done. Anyway, so I'm going to finish that. And those whips don't even include all the PDFs and pages that were sent to me by lovely people like Dee Dee and Janet. So I have this Titan Buff that I bought, and this quinacridone rose from Amsterdam. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of jelly plating. So we've got a bit of time. So sorry, today was kind of all over the place. View says, hot tip. If you like stickers that you can color yourself, Five and Below has a book there for $5 and 600 stickers in it. Drippy Drops, thank you, Becky. So this is called Drippy Drops. PM Artist Studio just released a whole bunch of new products. So Becky, I think, premiered hers. I think Eddie's premiering his. I think they'll show them tomorrow on their live stream. Okay, so let's go for it. So I like, when I get a new stencil, I like to do what I call a medium haul. So I usually, instead of putting the stencil right on the gel plate and starting that way, I put a layer of paint underneath. Let's use this Titan Buff. Oh, I gotta open it. So I was a bit sick last week. I'm feeling better, but I can still feel my throat is a little bit off. Deb says she's not picky about her colored pencils, but she's picky about her coloring books. So lately I've been really into coloring. I don't know if it's just a phase that I'm going through. I've always liked coloring, but lately I've just been coloring a lot. You can check out my Instagram. Every other post is a coloring post. And I'm just really enjoying it. I'm just gonna put a piece of paper under here. And I might, you know, get out of my system and then color a little bit less, but I do enjoy coloring. Mixed media coloring. Okay. There's already some stuff on here, but we're not going to worry about that. That was from my birthday gel print. I recognize some of the blue on there. All right, so I don't know. I'll also watch the playback and see what else I said I would link, but I have a list of things I will link as soon as possible. If you're watching the replay, my chat doesn't usually render for like 20, it takes about 15 hours for the chat to end up in the video. Okay, so we're gonna put this on here. This is a 9x12 stencil. That's the only way it's available. I kind of scooched it up because I wanted to get these in here. So we did a bunch of giveaways at the beginning of the stream. On my Friday flip through, I did a secret word for a giveaway for those people that watch the replay, and Keeks won that. Okay, so then now I'm going to leave the stencil down there, and I'm going to keep adding paint and pulling it up until I feel like it's done, and then we'll do the final pull. So what happens when you do this is you get a buildup of these extra colors in the corners of the stencils. So I'm gonna just reverse that. Okay, there we go. And I usually like to use black pretty soon, so I just use the pink because I had it on my desk. So I'm just use some black. And when you're doing the long haul, or what I call mid haul, is you don't really wait for things to dry. You just kind of go, and then you pull the stencil off and you let it dry. Oh, what am I doing? You don't pull the stencil off. eventually you'll get like different colors come off the stencil onto your paper too. Okay, and that's a lot of black, so I'm going to start another page. And when this stencil isn't new, you can see I already have paint on it, but when it's a new Yupo stencil, you have to be careful because regular paper can stick to it. Okay, how about we have some audience participation? Hi, Rachel. How about you guys just shout out a color and I'll use that color. I'll take the first 4 colors and we'll do it with those. So shout out, so I gotta keep that with my swatches. Shout out 4 colors, and I will write them down. Teal, metallic, gold, burnt orange. Let's use metallic and gold together, and blue. Oh, purple. Purple came first. Oh, yellow. Yellow. Okay, yellow, purple, blue, and we'll stop there. So we'll do those. Okay, so teal. Teal, teal, teal. Now I always get confused. Is teal and turquoise are different. So this is turquoise blue. Teal is more of a, this is teal, that's turquoise. So let's use teal. And when you're going through a stencil opening, you have to really put more paint than you think. The nice thing about Yupo stencils is they're not as thick as like Mylar stencils. So I find it a little bit easier to use on the gel plate. View loves her yellow. In the same green, blue, blue, green. Yeah, but I always forget which one's more blue and which one's more green. So teal is more green and turquoise is more blue. Okay, so metallic gold. I might use gold more than once. I do like to use gold. I might use gold as the pickup color. So here's some gold. This is my favorite gold, the PBO precious gold, iridescent precious gold. And then you can also use the same brayer or you can use a fresh brayer. This is almost dry, so I'm just going to use that. Eddie Makes Art does amazing long haul videos where he does multiple pulls from the same stencil. And let's just use this. Usually I'll do a lot of these preliminary pulls using the medical exam paper, like I showed you the papers before. Star Traveler says she sees teal as a darker color. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So here's where the magic starts to happen. So we have the teal and the gold coming off the stencil body together. And then we have the opening. Oh, look at that. That's going to go in our little book. That's going to be the background today, I think. I'm going to put that aside there to dry. Okay, burnt orange. Now, do I have a burnt orange? I have orange. I have vermilion. Don't know. I don't know if I have like a burnt orange. Looking. I kind of have, let's do orange and burnt umber together. Let's make a burnt orange. Hi, Jane. Oh, this one hasn't been used yet. Hi, Lucretia. So today we showed lots of different things, talked about lots of different things, did giveaways. Next week I'll try to have a more, because I'm streaming this week and next Wednesday, and then I'm taking a break. So next week I'll try to have more of like a concentrated project instead of like showing a bunch of scatter stuff. The thing is, when I stream every other week, I have lots of updates and things to show in between. So we're gonna call that a burnt orange. I think that's kind of a cool color. I'm gonna use a nicer paper instead of the grid paper. I'm gonna use this paper here. So Jane, she uploaded that dragon page I showed you. She uploaded a time lapse of her process in doing her dragon page that we all buddy colored together. And View has a few videos. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, so yummy. Oh my goodness. Ah. Ooh, look at that. That is gorgeous. You have the burnt orange, you have the teal. I don't think I see the gold, a little bit of gold, and then there's some purple from before. Okay, and then next is yellow. Instead of fluorescent yellow, I'm going to do just a primary yellow. And then maybe I'll offset this. We'll do it on that paper. And I'm going to use a fresh brayer. So I'm not waiting for the paint to dry, and that's why it starts to pick up some of the paint from the stencil. Okay, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to kind of offset it so they're not the same. They're not right on top of each other. Hi, Bruja. And then you don't leave it on too long. So there's a fine medium where you start to get paper ripping and sticking to your plate. You either have to take off while it's wet or you have to let it dry and then take it off. So turn that teal kind of green. Okay, and then that one I think we can do, take off a little bit more of that yellow. And then our next color that we said was purple. So that's pretty. That's more like a pretty print. Okay, and purple, purple, purple. Do you want a light purple or a dark purple? I do like my darks in purple, but I also have this violet prism violet. Let's use the dioxazine purple. So with the yellow, that will turn a bit of a brown. So I'm going to change back to my other brayer. And you don't have to do just one color. Like you saw how I added the orange and the brown together. You could even do that as an ombre while you're doing this. I keep wanting to take that off. Yes, the burnt orange pull is the perfect grunge. Looks like the colors in a rusted ship. Totes. Yes, I love teal and orange together as well. Okay. Oh, I almost left it on too long. It's almost stuck. Oh, some of the paper. See, I left on too long. Some of the paper ripped, but I was able to pull that off. See some of the gold there too. Okay. I should not lay those on top of each other. I do not want them to stick together. Okay, then we said blue. So that's open to interpretation. I'm going to use this light blue that slap paint on paper. Karen turned me on to this light blue. If we could pick up all that grunginess, wouldn't that be awesome? Raindrops are falling on my head. That doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me. I feel like this paper was kind of better. It didn't seem to get as sticky. Yes, each pull is different. That's why when I get a new stencil, I like to do this long haul, because it just really can add lots of different personality to the stencil. Karen says that blue is heaven sent. Okay, can't leave it too long. See, look at that. That light blue with the purple. And there's white showing through, but that's okay. I think that was the last color we had, but let's see, it's 12:30. So here's what I'm gonna do. I've got the Titan Buff underneath. We've got this yumminess. I'm going to put on an ombre of some colors that we haven't used. So maybe red, we haven't used red, or maybe pink. No, you do use pink. Do red and let me think. I think we should do red and aqua green, or sure, let's do red. No, magenta. We'll do magenta and aqua green. We'll do an ombre. And then we're gonna let it, then we'll pull the stencil off. And then we're gonna let it dry, and then we're gonna pick it up with either bronze or gold, I think. And then I'm definitely gonna wanna do a flop off of the stencil, because the surface is gonna be covered with paint. So we'll do a flop off onto this paper here. Is that Burt Bacharach? I didn't even know. I just remember that song from Elevator Music. Ooh, look at that lovely purple in between. Okay, and we're gonna take this off. And we're gonna flop this onto here. And we can almost sandwich it, because that was covered. The paint that was under the stencil, this Titan Buff, is still wet. And then you don't want to leave it on there too long, because it will stick. So got that. What if we turn it over and add that? Let's see if some of that will come off there. Not too much. There wasn't too much of that Titan Buff left. So we got that one. We got this one. So do a quick review while this is drying, and then I'll put a page down in that little book that we're going to alter. I don't think I can go in order. We got that one, this one, which I think was people's favorite. We got the yellow, we got the light blue, another light blue. That one's still wet, so I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna put it in a different pile. We got the green, with the yellow with the teal, which became green. The pink and Titan Buff, I guess. Oh, the black, pink and black. And then this was the purple. That one's quite nice too, I like that. I think my two favorites are this purple one. This one's very wet. I'm gonna move it over here. think this purple one's my favorite, and this orange one. Although this one did make my heart sing, to quote Karen. Oh, my chat fell behind. Hi, Chrissy, Wilcox Mama. Okay, go with my hands. And then these were the papers I did before when I first got the stencil. This is the final pull that I did that time. And I showed these earlier. So that one's kind of cool. So I got lots to choose from this stencil now. Okay, so let's get out a little book. So we're still letting this dry. Okay, and then we're going to do a final pull with, I think, gold. I think that's going to be very pretty. And okay, here's our book. So I had pulled out these little characters, which I think, what would they look better on? This one kind of loses it, doesn't it? Maybe better on this one. So I think we're going to put this print in the book to start with. It's not to say we might not use the other one, but okay. So here's our little book. So I'm gonna. It's a sewn book, so I'm going to start altering it. This is sort of inspired by, I would say it's inspired by Half-Ass Crafter. Oh, you know what, maybe I should go to the center of the sewn. That's not the center. I'm gonna go to, let's try to find the center. So what's everybody watching for fun these days? We've been watching Sopranos. I never saw it when it first came out. We didn't have HBO. And now we watch TV on something called Flickster, which is kind of like a hack. I can't find the center. Here, I think this is the center. Maybe not, whatever. I'll keep these for another thing. I think there's a better way to take these pages out. View wants a car repair book for women to be her new hobby. And then all I do is I put wax paper. And this is how I did that washi tape book. I'm just gonna move this so I don't smush it up. Okay, so I put wax paper. So here I did a measurement. I estimated that a print about 4 by 7 1/4 would cover most of the text. So that's how we're going to cut a print down. So put that down like that, and then I use a glue stick. And I see that my camera has slowly drooped, just like me. Drooping over with gravity over time. Okay, so I'm going to glue that. There's lots of different ways to do this. So don't email me if this is not your preferred way. And then I push it down. Okay. And then I can glue the next two together. I could take out a page, but just for time's sake, I'm just going to glue these two down. So check out the Half-Ass Crafter. She has, oh, this page has decided to come out, I think because of stitching. So we're going to glue this one instead. So I would take more time and I'd kind of figure out, I would pull out pages a bit more carefully. Okay, so we're going to glue that down. Okay, put this back together. And I would probably go through the whole book and, you know, do that with the pages. And then ideally you'd probably wait for this to dry fully before adding your gel prints, but I'm not going to do that. So technically I was going to go this way. Does that matter? It is better this way, isn't it? But then I don't have a matching. I wanted to do like what the half-ass crafter is. She has these two match each other because I think she takes a page like that and cuts it in half and glues it. Is that going to look too weird to have the drips going that way? Maybe instead of that one, let's just glue one of these other ones that I had from a different day. Let's just do this one. We'll cut this one down. I think I'll save the drippy drops for something else. View says she loves Sopranos. Yes, we are very much enjoying it. And our boys are enjoying it as well. They're adults, but it gets a little awkward sometimes, some of the scenes, but so I hope I covered everything that I meant to cover today. Okay, so I said I wanted it about 7 high, 7 1/4 high. So I'm gonna get this ruler out here. I think it's time for me to change my blade again. And then we wanted 4, because my gel plate that I did these on is let me just cut it in half and we'll see. So this is 10, so we could do 4 1/4 and 4 1/4. Other one's still wet. Maybe I should put the fan on it. So we're gonna glue that there. Just, I'll be right back. Yeah, sometimes it rains sideways, doesn't it? Okay, I'll be right back. Let me just put this down here. Okay. I might go a little long today. Sorry, Carol. Sorry about that. Ah. Okay, let's see, is this still wet? Yes. Okay, this is still wet. I'm gonna put a fan on it. I do want to get it pulled today, so I'm gonna go a little long. Carol, My Quiet Corner is on at 3 Eastern, so if you need to leave to go see her, you can always come back and watch the replay, but I want to get that final pull done. So I have to let that dry, then we have to put a pull color on it, and then we have to pull it, let that dry and then pull it. So, okay, well that is, whew. Hey Utah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna glue this in here just to cover that. And because this is paper to paper, I'm just gonna use my glue stick, but I could use something heavier, more heavy duty. Usually I'll put like Eileen's tacky along the edges and then the glue stick to spread it, but for time's sake, I'm just gonna use just the glue stick. Okay. And I can always go in and add a bit more. So then we're gonna use that. So the intention with the drippy drops is in the spring it's supposed to rain, but as some of my fellow Canadians are mentioning in chat, we still have snow. Some of us, we still have snow. I'm not measuring, but I'm trying to have it line up. So they've got a few little extra words at the top there, but that's okay. Okay, let me get a clip here. Okay, so I think let's just do them together. I could do something else here at a later date. So we're gonna put those there, and then we're gonna find some snark. Let's see, I didn't pre-pull my snark. But it's never very far away. So here's my snark. I've also labeled it Janet. I have some images in here too. And then we have Joanne's, I could see her UFOs going in this book. This lady's already cut. Do that. I could put these two together. I could put those two together. But we're gonna do the frog and the girl. And then here I could paint that out so that it matches. I could ink the edges if I wanted to. Got some chickens. Anyways, we'll have lots of fun adding snark to this book too. So I'm not going to put these in for today, but I just wanted to show you the possibilities. Yeah, and that's from the Poor Toast Steampunk Ephemera Volume 2 that I showed. So we need some snark. Let's see. How about this? I can hardly wait to regret this. Maybe she's thinking about riding the frog. So we could put that up there. And when Laura Half-Ass Crafter does her snark book. She takes 20 minutes. She already has her gel print background. And then she has a bunch of ephemera on the side. And then she takes 20 minutes and she completes, I don't think she does both sides. I think she completes one page in 20 minutes. So I know I've been doing a giveaway once a month. However, with the change in postage and stuff, I might, instead of doing it once a month, I might do it a bit more randomly. It might not be every month. Let's see. Okay, so the gel plate is dry, so let me just move this here. And let's get that print going, and we can finish this page while we're waiting for this to dry. So I know we already have gold there. We can kind of preview it by turning this over. I think the gold will still work well because it's also going to show through these little pores that we have from that first coat that we put under the stencil. And this is why I like to do, when I do my long hauls, I usually put paint under the stencil. I just find it, for me, I find it more interesting print in the end, just for my taste, I guess. Just move my scissors. So I'm just going to put a thin layer so it doesn't take too long to dry. Metallic paints dry pretty quickly, so we should be okay. Maybe she's going to kiss the frog, hoping for a steampunk prince. I love that. I think the quote works perfectly for that. I can hardly wait to regret this. Now, is the regret that he turns into a prince and she has to bury him? Or is the regret that he doesn't turn into a prince and then she's left with a froggy kiss? You guys are great. I love the collaboration during a live stream. Besides not having to edit videos, I love the immediate interaction, you know? So we're gonna let this dry under the fan. And I just use this fan here, which is not heat, it's just fan. Okay, so I'm gonna ink the edges of this. Oh, I'm missing I need the inker. So do you guys mind that I'm showing a lot of coloring stuff? Would you rather I just start like a coloring channel where I just do the coloring part of it and just keep this channel mixed media? Although to me, I mean, the coloring that I do, it is mixed media coloring for the most part. And if I did a coloring channel, I don't think I would necessarily do process videos. I mean, there's so many great channels for that, like Cat and Paste, Dee Dee Willingham, My Colorful Country Life. Now, because this is acrylic paint, I'm actually going to use proper glue to glue that. And see how this, you get like some grungy paper just from brayering. Today's, again, I find that a lot of my streams are very chaotic. Maybe I would do better to stream more often and not as long. Just thoughts. Put it in the comments below if you have thoughts on that. You can do coloring one day and then the other another day. One channel for me to watch is enough. It's my channel. I can do what I want. Personally, Nancy loves it all. Nancy does a lot of different things too. Handy Scandy. Check her out. A lot of people here have channels, so check each other out. I try to watch a lot of different content. I might watch it on like two times speed, but I don't want it. I want it kind of askew. Okay, and then we'll glue her on next. So when Carol, My Quiet Corner is starting in about 4 minutes or so. Sometimes she waits till after I'm done because sometimes I go long, but oh, Carol's right there. She says, yep, everyone just do your own thing. I was a guest on her channel. When was that? I feel like I talked about it last time. If I didn't, I'll put a link to the stream that I was a guest on Carol's channel. And I don't mind that her wing is going over the edge there. And then sometimes I'll add like some Stabilo around. But this paper is quite dark, so I don't know if I need that. I do like to finish at least one something when I stream. I like to talk about my ideas, what I've been up to, show my happy mail. I like to have at least a project that I finish most of it. I'm going to just move him so he's sort of covering her shoe so you can tell that she's in the background and he's in the foreground, you know? Now I might add a bit more to this. When you see Half-Assed Crafter, she adds a lot to a page, so I might go back and find something to add to this, but definitely it's going to be, it's not going to be dimensional. Okay, so I'm going to definitely add, maybe we could add this to this front page here and not have a 2-pager, because you know how the front of the book doesn't really lie flat. I don't know, I'll have to think about that. Have to think about it. But I'm gonna, you know, take pages out of this, glue pages together so that we have sort of like an area for our what's the word? For some snark. I'm just going to put a little bit of ground here and a little bit there just to give them some grounding, and then I think our page is going to be ready. I'm just looking for a water brush or any brush. Let's just use a paintbrush. So with the Inktense, I'm just going to activate it. That's going to give us some, so they're not just floating on the page. So, I mean, if I had just done this, that would have been like super quick, right? I feel like we need more, like maybe a watch or some gears or something, but I do like the size of this book too. This book is, it's a very good question. I want to say 8 by 5. Let me grab my ruler. My desk is a mess. Oh, I forgot we were going to use this on the gel plate too, but I didn't. So I could spray through this onto something else, or I could use it on the gel plate, but maybe we'll do that another time. Okay, I'm losing my focus. What size is this book? This book is 5.5 by 8.5. So I cut the prints down to 4.25 by 7.25. And I think in general it will cover the text, but every now and then it looks like they kind of, you don't see that in books nowadays. Like you wouldn't see that margin get that encroached. Okay, let's see. This is ready to pull. Okay. Just gonna crack those edges. Crack that whip. Da-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na. Okay. I think it's mostly coming up. We definitely don't have the washi tape incident of 2026. It's definitely could come up. I could try a little bit more. This print, this green print, I probably did that in 2019. I can tell it's got like a, just one of those old letter stencils. I don't want to rush it because I want it to pull up fully. Okay. There we go. So some areas the paint was a bit thicker. If I would have left on a little longer, I probably could have got that corner, but I am happy enough with that, I think. Okay, so there is our final pull. So you can see the different colors we used, right? And it bled kind of under the stencil, which is, I think looks really cool. I like that. I like that. And then the Titan buff that I put under the stencil, you know, some of it sort of dried and stuck and some of it stayed on the plate. So we get that kind of that gold showing through. It's always fun to mix sort of more matte paint with shiny paint. So there is our final print. So that was the bright aqua green on the top, the quinacridone magenta on the bottom, and then where it mixed, it made this lovely purple and blue, and it's a nice ombre. That hint of gold, yes. Okay, so I think that's pretty much everything. It was a very eventful stream. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we head over to Carol's channel? I really like that. That's cool. I like it. So that's my new stencil design, drippy drops or something like that. That's Drippy Drops. Oh, I was going to show you guys the inspiration for that stencil. I forgot. Okay, one more thing. Last thing, I promise. So around Christmas, I was playing with my new watercolor brushes, and I made this using the granulating, using Masha's watercolors. So the brushes had big heads, so I kind of did like little blobs, and that was the inspiration for this stencil. The kind of how it goes diagonal, and it has the tear shape. So you never know what's gonna inspire something, right? Thanks, Carol. Thanks, Terry. Hugs to you, and congrats on winning a giveaway. Thanks for coming, everybody. So just to recap, I will be here next Wednesday, same time. And then the rest of April, Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, will be Anne Lar streaming. And then I will be back at the beginning of May with probably a haul from my vacation, maybe a sketchbook tour, who knows. But next week I'm gonna come up with like a project that's gonna be less scattered and more focused. Okay, thanks for coming, everybody. I'm gonna say ciao, and and toodaloo, arrivederci, sayonara, all those. All right, I'm gonna press end, and then I have to take this off of here, and bye-bye. Happy Easter.